Let's go, Bourbon Quest. Oh, we need some water. Let me grab some water real quick. Yep, it's Bourbon / Rye Quest. As I grab some water. Alright, here we go. So, whew, January's a long month. And we're coming to the end of, because we don't do dry January, we do rye January. So we're coming to the end. Yeah, I mean, as you know, if you watch the channel, I'm not a huge rye guy, but I like a good rye from time to time. Obviously, month of January is when I drink the most rye, with it being rye January. You know, we've had some pretty good things from Sazerac rye to Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye, Michter's Barrel Proof Rye, Old Forester Barrel Proof Rye. Obviously, I'm a proof hound, so I tend to, really dig those barrel proof ryes. Rendezvous Rye we had, was not a big fan of this last Midwinter's Night Dram. Not a big fan of the Whistle Pig. We did the Homestock and Old World Rye. The Old World Rye finished in cognac was okay, but I'm not a big fan of the Whistle Pig. Way overpriced for what they are. I thought the Old Forester 100 Proof Rye and the Elijah Craig Rye were better than what I thought they were. I'm gonna have to go back and re-experience those. Actually, I had a little bit of Old Forester Rye. I didn't feel it was as good tonight as I did when I last had it, but yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Rittenhouse Rye. One of the, especially if you think the greatest value in rye, I would say Rittenhouse is the greatest value in rye. And that's when I'm working at the liquor store, like someone just getting into rye or whatever, that's tend to be the one that I point them to the most towards rye. I'd be interested to know, especially you Rye Quest watchers, like you people that are bigger into rye than I am, what are some of your favorite ryes? Whether it's starting out or maybe kind of off the beaten path that maybe not as well known. I've got one more that I'm hoping to get and do by the end of January. It may get pushed into February just because of budget reasons. Budget reasons, like all Americans. My whiskey budget's taking a hit from increased prices on eggs to food to gas to let's go Joe Biden, go Brandon. Damn it. But no, I've only probably got like 25 bottles in my rye collection, and not something I venture too far off the beaten path on. I'm sure there's some probably great ones out there that I'm just not knowledgeable about or know about and whatever. But nonetheless, remember, stay hydrated, my friends. I thought tonight, as we are coming to the end of Rye January, I had a couple. These are going to be uncorkings, but these are bottles I've had before. They just happen to be backup bottles, and because the ones when I say back, I probably killed just one of each of these and liked them enough to buy a backup bottle. We've pretty much done everything else I've had in rye related on the channel, so I thought I would. It's been a while since I've had these. I'd revisit them. These will be fresh cork pops. Let's start with the Michter's single barrel straight rye US 1 84.8 proof. So these will be uncorkings here. So let's pour that in the glass. And of course, here on Bourbon / Rye Quest, I always do a 2-ounce pour into the infinity bottle. There we go. And then the Pikesville, which man, I love this Pikesville, especially 110 proof, Rye of the Year, #2 World Whiskey of the Year, Jim Murray. I don't give a whole lot of his whiskey bottle, but whatever. Nonetheless, it's Pikesville Rye. All right. This whiskey is aged at least 6 years. Bardstown, Kentucky, Heaven Hill. Alright. Pour that into the glass. And our 2-ounce pour into our infinity bottle. Alright. We got those out of the way. So we're going to start with the Michters being a lower proof. Alright. I mean, the nose is really good on this. I mean, it's mint, it's chocolate. Yeah, baking spice, black pepper, a little bit of pine. But definitely mint and chocolate. Cheers, Rye Quest. Man. Yeah, I get that mint, I get that chocolate, I get a little bit of banana, cherry, a little bit of orange. Man, that's good. I mean, it's really, really good. I like that a lot. I think I would like to try that in a cocktail. I mean, super crushable too at that lower proof that Michter's tends to be. Man, I think this is. I think people buy this. I won't say it's a sleeper. It might be a slim sleeper, like. But I mean, I see it on the shelves all the time. It's not like you can't go find a Michter's Rye. Yeah, I mean, just enough mint and pine, but I get cherry, orange, chocolate. I mean, I think it's probably a barely legal rye, so I think that's another good one along with the Rittenhouse for someone just getting into rye to start off with. It's not overpowering, not gonna, blow your palate out. It's really good. All right, hydration. All right, now the Pikesville. Been a minute since I've had this one, and seems to be like I killed my bottle, and I mean I think it's been a year. I mean it's not been long since I killed my Pikesville, the original one I had. And so I planned on getting a backup bottle, but I think from the time I bought it, like it's been a year since I've seen it at my big box liquor store or anywhere else for that matter. So maybe that's one that's become a little bit harder to get. And then you definitely get that proof at 110. Man. There's that black pepper, baking spice, a little bit of mint and clover. Cheers, Rye Quest. Yeah, I mean, You definitely get that proof. You get that baking spice, black pepper. I mean, good viscosity on that. And then that mint. Again, some chocolate on the middle to back. Touch of pine on the back as well. I mean, it's freaking delicious. And I love that 110 proof. Like, don't get me wrong, like those barrel proofs, the Jack, the Old Forester, the Michter's barrel proof that I got to borrow my buddy Mark's bottle from. And that one, the Michter's, surprisingly beat it. I mean, I got to give it credit because it won blind. Although I still, given a choice to buy either one, I'd buy that Jack again. I think it's still the best rye of all time. It just, for whatever reason, didn't win that night in a blind. But the Michter's was super, super good. But so is this Michter's. I mean, not as complex and enjoyable as the barrel proof, but for a lot less, obviously findable. I mean, I highly recommend this Michter's. And then as you get a little bit more into rye, this Pikesville's, although it has, like I said, become, I think, harder to find, it's still findable. I mean, it's not like, it's not no B-tack or nothing. And what are some, I mean, what are the ryes that you, is there a rye that you chase? I mean, I know people chase Blands, people chase B-tack, Pappy, anything from Buffalo Trace, you know, and then your special releases, whether, you know, it be a Master's Keep or a William Heaven Hill or Parker's Heritage, or, you know, on the bourbon side of things. But like the one special release and thing that I know people chase that I was disappointed in this past year is the Midwinter's Night Dram. And I guess, yeah, those, which maybe, I mean, the Midwinter's Night Dram is an annual thing. And then, yeah, I guess people chase the ones I had the fortune to get with the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye, the Old Forester single barrel proof rye, the Michter's barrel proof rye. But are there any other ryes that people chase, hunt, camp out for whatever reason? I don't know. I mean, rye's obviously seen a resurgence in the last few years, I think, along with the bourbon boom over the last 5+ years. I mean, I'm never going to be a huge rye guy. I don't want to, I mean, like, I would like to keep it at my 20 to 25 bottles. And that would include this Michter's, a Pikesville, a Rittenhouse, Jack Daniel's single barrel. We'll start with those and go from there. What else? Oh, Sazerac. What are you doing, Q? You alright? I'm gonna have to take you to the vet. I think you hurt your paw or something. Alright, let me know, RyeQuest. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It does the channel a favor. Yeah, and then do yourself a favor, ring that bell for notifications. That way you don't miss a damn thing here on Bourbon/RyeQuest. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on rye. What are your favorite ryes? Are there ones that you buy when you see them, are hard to find, that you chase, would camp out for, whatever, or some ones that maybe I'm not aware of, that I'm missing out on, that you think I should try? I will say, like, I like the High West Rendezvous. I don't like the double rye, and I'm not gonna probably like anything 95.5 rye, or even probably 90.10 rye. Like, those are pine tree in a bottle. But your Pikesville, your Michters, the ones I already mentioned, I like and enjoy. It's not just something that I'm going to drink on a normal basis outside of January, but every once in a while. And I do think the rye stand out great in a cocktail with that, rye spice. And, Alright, I've gone on too long. Cheers, Bourbon Quest, my friends. Yeah, that Pikesville's good. Alright, that wraps it up for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, as always, my wish for you is that all your Bourbon Quest and Rye Quest dreams come true, whatever they may be. That's a wrap. I'm ready to move on to February, because I turned 50 in February. That's going to be amazing, bro. Hell yeah. Alright, that's a wrap. Good night. Oh, Lord.